You know, we all have those days, the gloomy ones, the moments of despair. But what if the cure wasn't some complicated philosophy, but something hiding in plain sight? Well, over 200 years ago, the poet John Keats offered a pretty powerful prescription in his poem, A Thing of Beauty. And today, we're going to dive into why that prescription is still so powerful.
So Keats kicks things off with a couple of really big questions. What good is beauty, really? Is it just some fleeting distraction, or does it have a deeper, more lasting value? These are the questions his entire poem is built to answer.
Okay, so the poem's very first lines, they don't mess around. They come right out and deliver the main idea with incredible confidence. This isn't just a suggestion. It's a bold declaration about the power of beauty.
Now, get this. What's so wild here is Keats's claim that the value of beauty actually increases over time. It's not something that just fades away. Instead, its memory and its impact, they grow inside us, becoming this permanent source of joy that can never really be taken away.
Then Keats gives us this beautiful metaphor. He says a thing of beauty will keep a bower quiet for us. So what's a bower? It's basically a peaceful, shady little shelter. What he's saying is that beauty literally creates this safe space in our minds, a place we can retreat to when we need some peace and quiet.
And look, this isn't just some abstract poetic idea. Keats connects beauty directly to our well-being. This mental shelter he's talking about, it gives us real, tangible benefits. Sleep filled with sweet dreams, better health, and that calm feeling he calls quiet breathing.
But of course, Keats wasn't just living in a fantasy world. He knew hardship all too well. So he doesn't just throw this idea about beauty out there in a vacuum. He immediately contrasts it with the tough realities of just being human.
He actually lists the things that drag us down, that feeling of hopelessness, or looking around and feeling like there aren't enough good people, those gloomy days we all know, and the confusing, dark paths we sometimes end up on. This is the problem, right? This sickness that beauty is supposed to cure.
And this brings us to his main image for all this suffering, a pall. Think of it like a funeral cloth, or just a thick, dark, heavy cloud that's draped over our spirits. It's such a powerful way to describe that oppressive weight of sadness that's just part of life.
So, if we're all covered in this dark pall, how in the world do we lift it? Well, Keats's first and maybe his most important answer is to look around, to look at the natural world. It's the first antidote. And this is the turning point in the whole poem. He says in spite of all that bad stuff, beauty isn't just sitting there, no, it's an active force. Some shape of beauty literally comes in and moves away the pall from our spirits. It's a rescue mission.
So, what are these amazing shapes of beauty? You might think it's something grand or hard to find, but it's not. He lists the sun and the moon, trees, simple daffodils, little streams, and fragrant roses. It's a huge reminder that this powerful medicine is all around us, free for everyone.
Okay, so just to make sure we're all on the same page with the imagery, let's quickly break down a couple of these older words. When he says clear rills, he just means small, babbling streams. And the mid-forest break, that's just a thick patch of ferns, the perfect spot for wild roses to grow. It's all part of this rich, natural world he wants us to see.
But Keats doesn't just stop with nature, which is so cool. He actually expands his whole definition of beauty to include things that we create, things that come straight from the human spirit and our imagination. And this part is so fascinating. He says there's beauty even in the epic stories we tell about our heroes, what he calls the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. Think about it. Legends, myths, all those tales of courage and sacrifice. He's saying those are also a deep, powerful source of beauty that can lift us up.
All right, this all leads us to the poem's absolutely magnificent finale, where Keats ties all these different kinds of beauty together with one last incredible metaphor.
So when you really look at it, the whole poem is this incredible matchup. On one side, you've got the human condition, hopelessness, dark days, and heavy spirits. And on the other side, you have beauty's gifts, which are like the perfect defense, a joy that never ends, a quiet place to rest, and the path to health and sweet dreams.
And this is where it all comes from. Keats says beauty is like an endless fountain of immortal drink. It's not just a sip of water, it's an infinite, divine source of nourishment that's constantly pouring down on us from the very edge of heaven. Wow. So the takeaway here is pretty clear, right? For Keats, beauty isn't just something nice to look at. It's not a luxury or a nice to have. It is an essential, life-giving force.
that immortal drink that feeds our souls and makes life worth living, even with all its challenges.
The poem says that every day we use beauty to weave a flowery band to bind us to the earth. So it all comes back to us, doesn't it? It leaves us with this one big question to think about. In your own life, with all the noise and the challenges, what's your endless fountain? What's the thing of beauty that keeps you going?
Prepared by K. Rajendra Prasad.